How's it going, guys? Today, I'm here to do Blender 101. Right, we're on Blender 2.75, and it's pretty much just a tutorial. I'm gonna be taking you through what I've learned. Currently going through games development in college, and I just want to make some videos and help you guys make a game, and it helps me help you. So why not? We're on Blender 2.75, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to texture a cube. And this is extreme noob, like it's a very fundamental. And you know, we're not even going to be texturing this cube. So like the first thing I want you to do is hit X and delete that cube. I understand like this tutorial is for the complete noob, someone that does not know how to use Blender. I'm going to be taking you through shortcuts and other things to help you progress. And like for me, it's going to be to make an end game product. So I'm going to take you through a few basic things so you can understand. I'm going to be doing a lot of not modeling in later on in the series, but I'm pretty much going to be taking you through a first person shooter game that I'm currently planning to develop. It's not developed yet, so I'm going to take you through how to do that. But let's get on with this. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to hit Shift A. This brings up this window here. You have meshes, surfaces, text, armatures, lamps, lots of things. But we want to go right in here to meshes. We want to just select the cube. Okay, so have your cube here. You know what? I forgot to even mention how you move around. Because there's a few ways to move around in Blender. You can click down your middle mouse wheel and you can 360 kind of no scope this. Scrolling it zooms you in and out. You can also hold shift and click. No, that's not it. I actually forget that one. Sorry guys. We'll just use the scroll wheel to scroll in and out. I was trying to make it easier for people that don't have a scroll wheel. The main movement as well is you want to make sure your numpad is on. Numpad is used to move around a lot as well. And that is pretty much how you move around Blender. You can also shift and click the mouse wheel, and that makes you move kind of forward and around a little bit. You know what I mean? So they're your basic movement tools, mostly numpad. I will give you words of advice. On your keyboard there's numbers above all the letters. They're for layers actually in Blender. Don't try and move with them. Always use the numpads. They're much easier and you won't get yourself confused later on if I'm messing with layers. So time to kick it. So what you're going to need for this tutorial is a texture, and you can get textures from CG Textures. They're not copyrighted. You can use them. They're free to use. You need to make an account with them to download them. So yeah, time to start this tutorial up again then. So what you want to first do is you want to hit Shift A and go into Meshes. Select the cube. Okay. And you have over in this right window here, you all these weird options. We won't look at them. You want to come up to this circle, the materials panel. Every texture in Blender has to have a material. Every mesh in Blender must have a material on it. It's just how it is. There isn't a reason for it. It just has to. If there isn't a material on it, you can't do anything with it. It'll just be literally sat there. So you just want to go ahead and click New. Brings up all this funky text. Alright, so this is what a material looks like. But we can just bring you through a couple of this. A few little things that you kind of might want to know in here. You have a diffuse. If you click this white, you can change the color of the block. That's cool. You can also turn that up or down if you wanted to go potent or black. That's the intensity of the color, yes. Also under here, specularity. You're making a box or a wall. I'm going to be technically making a wall today, so I don't want this up at all. I want that completely down. I want it to have no shine. Alright? Specularity is the shine. You can change the color of the shine. Excuse me. You can change the color of the shine just as well. You know what I mean? It's not at all. You know what I mean? Okay. So now you have that done and you have a material. You should go ahead then and hit N on your keyboard. Okay. This brings up kind of location, scaling, all the rest of that good jazz. But what you're very interested in is multi-texture. You want to turn this to GLSL. This is turning on your graphics card. If you're on a laptop or if you don't have a graphics card, I think it's mostly when you're on a laptop. That does nothing if you don't have a graphics chip. And now with that on, it's time to go into edit mode. If you see down here in the bottom left hand corner, there's a little tool thing, and you can either just click down there and into edit mode, or you can simply, back in object mode, hit tab. Tab brings you in and out of edit mode. Okay. Now this is what edit mode looks like. You have a completely squared off box, but you can grab these points and move them. This is what modeling will look like to you later on when you start getting into some modeling. If you make a mistake, hit Control and Z, 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 Z. You can hit Control and Z 20 times before you can't go back any further. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to select the whole cube. So if you just hit A in edit mode, when you hit A, it only selects that object. You can also hit L for island. Okay, so you want to select the whole, and you want to hit U. Okay, now it's unwrapping things here. We won't look at any of these other options, but we will in a later tutorial. You want to hit unwrap. Okay. Now what's this done is this is pretty much unwrap this item, allowing us to texture it. In this top right panel here, you should see 3 lines. Just drag it horizontal. Alright, and you'll have 2 windows, a split port or a 3D view port. In this window here, you must go down to the bottom left, and here's a completely, like, these is so important. You have a logic editor in here, looking at some logic later, some Python, it's like JavaScript in a sense, there's lots of coding, but we want to come down here to the UV image editor. Alright, so this is what your square looks like when you're in the UV image editor. And this is brilliant. This is what you want to see. Okay, so with this here, you want to come back over to the right panel, and you want to go into textures. This is one right of materials, and you want to load in a new texture. Alright? You'll get this craziness. What you're really looking for is open. Click in open and go to your desktop, and this is my block. It's what I'm going to be texturing with, so you want to open that. Alright, and when you have that done, you want to come down here to this little box here, this little window, click it. Just want to load in that texture. Alright, so there it is. Look at it, beautiful. Alright, so that with that loading in, you can come back up to these 3 lines again and just click it and drag it horizontally back, and you'll get this arrow. This is removing that 3D viewport. You may be saying to yourself, why can't I see the blocks, or why can't I see anything? It's this little button down here. It's a very cool button. You can go into wireframe mode. That means you can see through it. You can also come up to solid. That means light doesn't affect it in any way. You can come up to textured. There you go. There is the texture that is on the block. Alright, you can also come up into material. You see, as you put the texture onto it, it also made it the materials texture. So now if I put a shine on it, yeah, I won't go into that today. That's a whole new story. You want to, yeah, so, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Now, back down here, so you're in a material. You can also go into a rendered mode, which gives you a render of the item, what it will look like rendered out. Alright, and yeah, that is pretty much how to texture an item in the Blender game or Blender render. This will also work in the game engine. Let me just quickly that is it in the game engine. It works in the game engine. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm planning to do a few more tutorials on Blender. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe for more. Thanks a million.